All right, let's talk about your money, what's moving it, and what's about to blow up. Listen up, because by the end of this, I'm going to tell you the real secret behind what Apple is doing with AI and why it matters to your wallet more than you think. You absolutely need to stick around for that. Stocks are on fire right now. Seriously, after some choppy waters, everything's looking up. The big indexes like the Dow were up almost 90 points. The Nasdaq, it notched another record close, up a quarter of a percent. The S&P 500 followed, and guess what? The Russell 2000, that's all those smaller companies, really stole the show, jumping about two-thirds of a percent. Little guys are leading the charge. And here's the kicker. The fear meter, called the VIX, is chilling out near its lowest point all year. People aren't panicking, which is good news for your investments. So what's going on? We're seeing this crazy wall of worry. It means investors are worried about everything, inflation, tariffs, you name it. But the market just keeps climbing. You've got the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq hanging out in your all-time record highs. This creates a weird feeling. You're scared you'll miss out if you don't buy in, but you're also scared you'll lose big if you jump in right at the top. But here's a tip. You have a better shot at making money buying at new all-time highs than trying to guess when the markets hit bottom. When things are going up, they tend to keep going up for a while. Speaking of big players, the communication companies like Meta and Alphabet are leading the way. The big banks are strong too. Energy stocks took a small hit, down about 1%, but overall, it's a feel-good story for your portfolio. We're seeing a lot of analysts raising their price targets for stocks, meaning they think they're going even higher. Now, remember, analysts usually follow what's already happening. They don't lead the charge. The trend is your friend right now. Now, let's talk about Apple. Their stock has been under some pressure. Investors are scratching their heads, asking, what's Apple doing with AI? You hear all the big shots on Wall Street screaming that Apple needs to make a huge deal, buy some giant AI company. They say Apple needs to write a big check. We're talking billions. Like, their biggest deal was about $3 billion for Beats. Some even named names, saying Apple should buy a company called Perplexity. They called it a no-brainer. But here's the truth. Apple doesn't usually do those monster deals. And there's a big reason why. When you buy an AI company, you're not just buying a bunch of code. You're buying the brains, the engineers. And these AI engineers are so hot right now, they're getting offers for hundreds of millions of dollars. They can literally walk out the door tomorrow. So buying an AI company isn't like buying a factory. The most valuable assets are the people, and they can leave. Apple has always played the long game. They're rarely first to market. Think about it. They didn't invent the personal computer, but they made it better. They didn't invent the smartphone, but the iPhone changed everything. Their secret? Let the other guys crash and burn, then come in and make a product that's just plain better. This is exactly their plan for AI. They're super focused on your privacy and making AI work on your device, right in your phone. They don't want the crazy errors, the hallucinations you see from other AI systems like ChatGPT. Apple's been burned a little with Siri, but even Siri's mistakes are nowhere near as bad as what's come out of some of these other AI tools. They want a higher quality product for you. So, what does this mean for your money? The new iPhones coming out this fall and especially next year are going to be AI powerhouses. They're literally going to look different, maybe even a foldable iPhone. But more importantly, they'll do things with AI that your old phone just can't. This is going to create something huge called device envy. You're going to see what the new phones can do, and you're going to want one. This will drive massive demand for Apple's new devices, and that's a direct boost to their bottom line. Now, are average folks like you and me super excited about AI features right now? Not really. We're still trying to figure out what AI can actually do for us beyond being a fancy search engine. But Apple is positioning themselves to be the leader and showing us real, everyday uses for AI that actually matter. They're just waiting for the right moment. And don't miss the big reveal at the end for the full picture on Apple's AI play. Switching gears, let's talk crypto. It's been a wild ride. Bitcoin recently soared to over $120,000. It's cooled off a little bit from those highs, but it's been an incredible year. The best part? It's not just Bitcoin anymore. We're finally seeing the smaller coins, the altcoins, join the party. Companies like XLM are up 85%, Algo up 60%, Cardano up 26%, and Ripple up 30%. When you see all these smaller coins moving with Bitcoin, that's a real sign of a strong rally. It means the whole crypto market is getting healthier. Now, let's get ready for some serious popcorn because Netflix is about to drop its earnings report. Wall Street expects them to beat expectations just a little bit, partly because the weaker dollar is helping their overseas revenue. But everyone knows this report is just a warm up. The real excitement is what's coming next. Netflix is gearing up for its biggest second half of the year ever. Think about it. Massive shows like Stranger Things, Wednesday, and Squid Game are all coming back to your screens. Stranger Things episodes are even dropping on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve, perfectly timed to maximize your holiday binge watching. But it's not just scripted shows anymore. Live content is becoming a huge deal for Netflix. We're talking boxing matches, NFL games, and maybe even a concert series with Spotify. They're going big on live events. And their advertising business, it's blowing up. Netflix now has 94 million people watching their shows with ads, and they expect to double their ad revenue this year to about $3 billion. They've even launched their own in-house ad platform in the US. Here's the catch. Netflix's stock is up over 40% this year. Its stock price is about 40 times its expected earnings. That's a premium price, meaning investors are paying a lot because they expect huge growth. Some analysts are saying the optimism is already priced in, and Netflix has a lot to prove to keep investors happy. Is Netflix worth its high price? And what about those new AI iPhones I mentioned earlier? Stay tuned for that. And finally, movies! Superman just swooped in and saved at the box office. His new movie had a massive $125 million opening weekend. This isn't just about one movie making money, it's about fixing a brand that's had a rough few years with some really bad films. They've got new management, and this new Superman movie is lighter, more like the original comics. People are loving it, and critics are too. The word of mouth is strong, meaning people who see it are telling their friends to go. This isn't just good for Superman, it's good for the whole movie industry. This film is setting the stage for the next 6, 8, or even 10 movies. Superman's new movie could easily hit $300 million, maybe even $350 million here at home. While it did okay overseas, the real win was how strong it played here in the US. The movie theater experience itself has changed big time. Theaters have invested a ton of money. We're talking huge, comfy seats, little tables where you can order full meals, not just popcorn and candy. It's less about just seeing a movie and more about getting a whole experience. People are even willing to pay extra for premium formats like IMAX, where visuals and sound are insane. As long as there's a good movie on screen, people are showing up. This summer is looking super strong for the box office with big hits like the F1 movie, which is about to cross $400 million and is heading towards $500 million worldwide. This brings us to a huge trend, like big tech companies like Apple getting into the movie business. Apple started with no movie library, but they have a giant bank account. They were basically writing blank checks to every big celebrity to make films and TV shows. Sure, they had a couple of flops, but now they're getting smarter. The F1 movie is a great example. It's a solid film, and honestly, watching it at home on Apple TV Plus is not the same as seeing it on the big screen. Apple is spending billions to build up a huge library of content over the next 5 to 10 years, and some of these might even get sequels. They're playing the long game in Hollywood, too. Okay, so you've heard about the markets flying high, crypto's back on, Netflix is ready to dominate your screens, and Hollywood's revival. But I promised you the real secret about Apple's AI strategy. Remember how everyone says Apple needs to buy a giant AI company? Forget it. That's not their game. Apple's big play isn't to buy someone else's AI, it's to build the best, most private AI right into your next iPhone. They're waiting for the pioneers to make all the mistakes, then they step in and make a product that's so good, you won't be able to resist it. They want to show you, the average person, exactly how AI can make your life better right on your phone. And here's something else you need to know. There are some big changes happening behind the scenes at Apple. Key leaders are retiring, people who have been responsible for Apple's amazing success in manufacturing and avoiding mistakes that other tech companies constantly make. This means new blood, new ideas, and new energy. So while the market is riding high, Apple is quietly setting up the biggest reason yet for you to upgrade your phone, driving massive demand for their hardware with cutting edge, private, on device AI. They aren't just selling a phone, they're selling an AI experience that no one else can match. That's why their stock is poised to keep moving. There you have it. The markets are on fire, crypto's back, Netflix is ready to dominate your screens, and Apple is about to change how you use your phone with AI. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more insights that can help you with your money. And hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop a new video. We'll see you next time.